The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Mesa Fire Department, Arizona, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 35239. Please utilize this 5-digit job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. Let's get started on a brief orientation of your apparatus. Just under the front bumper, you'll find 2 tow hooks open-ended on the front frame rail. Moving to the outer edges, you'll find dual air horns. On the bumper extension, angled, you'll find 2 emergency warning lights. Just inside that location on the face of the bumper, recessed, you'll find your electronic siren and PA speaker. As we move up onto the bumper extension, you'll find tubbed hose storage, dry deck material, and also Velcro tie down. Moving to the outer edge on the driver's side, you'll find a swivel discharge. As we move to the cab face, on the outer edges of the A-pillar is where you're going to find your marker turn indicator. In the common bezel, you'll find your headlight structure housing low and high beam headlights. The high beam will be located on the inside. Directly in the center of the grille, you'll find your mechanical siren. As we move just over the headlight structure, you'll find forward-facing emergency warning lights. Let's move up onto the windshield area, where you'll find 3 windshield wipers across the seamless one-piece windshield. On the outer edge, you'll find your mirror housing a flat and convex mirror. As we move up to the brow of the apparatus on the passenger side, you'll find an angled mirror facing downward, which is convexed. On the upper portion of the brow, you'll find 5 clearance lights. As we move up onto the roof of the apparatus, you'll find slightly angled forward-facing floodlights. On the roof, you'll find your emergency warning light bar. Located within the center of that light bar is where you'll find your opticom. Directly above the light bar is where you'll find your go light. This is a spotlight controlled from within inside the cab. Let's go ahead and take a look at some close-ups of the items that we just talked about. First, let's start with the doors in the open position so you can see your department logo. As we move now to the bumper extension, swivel discharge, the angled lights, and also side-facing emergency warning lights on the bumper extension. Your front discharge, which is foam capable. As we move to the grille area, directly behind the Pierce logo is where you'll find the release mechanism for the hood. Let's move up onto the roof of the apparatus. This is going to be a non-walking surface. That's why we have these 2 warning placards indicating that. As we move to the very forward section, this is your go light spotlight located just above the light bar, and directly behind it you'll find your air conditioning unit. Let's go ahead and look just directly behind the cab wall, where you'll find your crosslays located. As we move to the rear section of the body, you'll find clearly identified yellow indicators indicating the walking surface for firefighter safety. Also top access via D-handle and also butterfly. As we move to the side, you'll find your side-facing floodlight. This is on the body. General view here with the compartments in the open position. These are the 2 tanks, your Class A foam and also your water tank. As we move now to the dunnage area, you'll find your master stream device and also top control for that discharge. Also to the booster line, you'll find a manual rewind on the top section for a tool and also free spool tension knob located on the right hand side. As we move to the opposite side, you'll find your Husky foam system reservoir. Close-ups here of the items we just talked about. Let's go ahead and take a look. This is the ladder in the deployed position. Let's go ahead and take a look at those compartments now in the open position. Water tank location. Blue is the water tank. Green will be your foam tank A. Would like to provide a warning information regarding do not mix different brands or consistencies of foam for the possibility of foam failure, and that's why we have this warning label directly on the top of the tank. Let's go ahead and move now inside the driver's space, starting with the front section of the cab. Affixed to the door panel, you'll find all of our safety and warning information placards, also a door lock and latch combination. You'll find your electronic windows for 4 cab windows, and then also a grab handle. Let's go ahead and move down to the base of the seat area for the operator, first starting at the base where you'll find your air inlet and also an air pressure gauge. At the bottom, located here, is the air inlet, and the upper section displaying the air pressure. Let's move to about the left knee of the operator, where you'll find this placard, manufactured for your department, indicating the date of manufacture, 5-digit job number, gross vehicle weight rating, cold tire inflation, the VIN number. All of the components, fluid capacity, and fluid types are located within this placard. Let's move to the floorboard, where you'll find 2 foot pedals, your air horn, and also mechanical electronic siren. As we move to about the left knee of the operator, A-pillar, you're going to find the command zone plug-in, engine ABS diagnostic plug-in, and also SRS transmission diagnostic plug-in ports. As we move down from that location, you'll find the ABS diagnostic switch and engine diagnostic switch. As we move further down for the operator, you'll find your regen inhibit and also DPF regen switches. Those are the 2 lower switches. Let's go ahead and move up now to the dash area. We'll identify a few items. Currently not pictured in this is on the very far left are your hazard lights, ignition, and start switch. Difficult to see in this image. We also have a switch labeled EM, which stands for Emergency Master. This engages and disengages all emergency lights. Just inside of the location, headlight switch and a switch labeled panel, which will allow you to brighten or dim lights within the preview of the operator. As we move to the left, you'll find transmission oil, water temp, and DEF level. Moving to the right, you'll find front and rear air, fuel, and volts. Tachometer and speedometer located directly in the center. Diagnostic information will display above and below the speedometer. Let's move just to the right of this location, where you'll find the OK to engage the high idle indicator just to the right of the steering column. General view here of the right side of the operator space. Command zone located directly in the center. Tremendous amount of information right here at your fingertips. Allison transmission pad. Push button digital readout with an indication note pump in drive. As we move to the right, you'll find switches indicating the engine brake on off, setting switch for low, medium, and high, your drug box, fuse block on and off, mirror heat, and off-road traction. As we move down, you'll find the yellow diamond, which is your pull to apply your system parking brake and push to release. Also, you'll find an emergency parking brake release, which is the green push button. Moving just to the right, you're going to find your mechanical siren, electric siren, load manager, auto lube fault, this is an indicator, mechanical siren auto cycle, and also your siren brake, which is the red outline. As we move down, you'll find your pump shift. There are instructions from road to pump and also from pump to road. Just as a reminder, you need 2 green indicators before exiting the cab for pump operations, pump engaged, and OK to pump. On the very top section, you'll find mirror controls for your flat and convex mirrors on the passenger and driver side. Climate control for heat, defrost, front and rear, and also air conditioning. As we move just back from that location, this is the go light, which is your spotlight controlled from inside the cab on the top of the light bar area. As we move overhead of the operator, I'd like to direct you to the yellow placard indicating the height of the vehicle, 9 feet 9.94 inches, the length 32 feet 6.68 inches, gross vehicle weight rating 44,800 pounds. Just to the right, we do have some switches here. Emergency Master, roof light, front warning, side warning, rear warning, and your Opticom. When any of these switches have been engaged, the light will illuminate, indicating the light is inactive. Let's move to the next switching panel, where you'll find your Scene Master. This will control all of your scene lights. Also individually switched will be your front flood, driver's side scene, passenger side scene, and rear scene. Let's move further to the right to the next module, which is going to be your electronic siren and PA speaker system module. Moving further to the right, traffic advisor module. Then as we move further to the right, you'll find your unit speaker and also a light indicating do not move your apparatus when this light is flashing, indicating you have a compartment or door open. As we move to the rear, you'll find a fuse block on the rear console. Directly behind the driver's seat, you'll find the cradle point. Let's go ahead and move back exterior now to your front axle, where you'll find a sight gauge located in it, Alcoa wheels, and Michelin tires. As we move to the rear section of the cab, let's go ahead and take a look inside this area. First, let's start with the door panel, where you'll find all of our safety and warning information, door lock and latch, window control, and a grab handle. As we move inside, this is directly behind the driver's seat, additional compartment storage, LED lighting, adjustable shelving. In the very center, you'll find the lift and turn latch, which will gain access to your transmission and oil for your daily checks. Let's go ahead and take a general view here of this area. Overhead, you'll find 2 fans for the operator, and then also 2 fans for the officer seat area. Directly behind that, you'll also find your SETCOM intercom for your wireless system. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rear wall, where you'll find 2 forward-facing crew seats. On each side, you'll find 12-volt power outlets, which happen to be USB. As we move exterior to the rear cab, you'll find 2 compartments located exterior at the cab wall rear. As we move to the pump panel area, we'll start in the upper left-hand corner of the pump panel. This is the driver's side with crosslay 1, 2, and 3. They are foam capable. Also, you'll find these 2 placards regarding Husky foam system specifications and also instructions. As we move down, a warning placard regarding entanglement hazard. Because of those lines coming from aloft, there's the possibility of entanglement. As we move to the very top, you'll find your 2 master gauge, pump intake and pump discharge. Just beneath those, you'll find the vacuum and pressure test gauge ports, which are currently plugged and are used for testing purposes. As we move down, the Husky 3 foam system module. Also, you'll find your recirculating line and engine cooler. Those are both twist, not pull. As we move down, you'll find the green foam tank A level indicator. As we move just to the right, you'll find your pressure throttle governor. And as we move further to the right, you'll find the round audible alarm. The outer edge of that bezel does allow you to dampen or brighten the sound. We do have some switches also, but we have an OK to pump indicator indicating green to go ahead and engage your pump. As we move down, you'll also find all of our switching components located on the right switch panel. All of our discharges are color-coded and labeled. You can see the red indicating foam capable. Also, just to the right, we have a wheel for your deluge discharge. Also, an additional warning here regarding fall. If you're going to climb on the vehicle, always face the vehicle while climbing. As we move down further, you'll find the fire pump primer. It is a push to prime air. There are instructions just beneath that for best practices, 1000 RPMs. Also to the right, real discharge. Let's move down on the pump panel. We'll find 2 electric valves. First, large diameter passenger side, and also your tank to pump. As we move to the right, you'll find a warning regarding pressure hazard. Caps may be under pressure. Be cautious when opening them. As we move down this placard from Pierce, this is the minimum operation maintenance schedule. We'll go over that in just a few moments, and I'll touch on the warning regarding only trained personnel should operate this piece of equipment, and that's only after they've received proper training. As we move further down on the pump panel into the next section, you're going to find the Pierce logo American flag eagle. This is your large diameter pump inlet. To the right, you'll find your tank fill. Just beneath that is the pump drain, and then also your manual pump shift. Let's go ahead and move down to the next section of your pump panel, where you'll find all of our color-coded and labeled discharge drains. Also on the left, your driver's side auxiliary inlet, ball valve, 2.5-inch female inlet. This is once again the minimum operation maintenance schedule. We'll go over that, along with your watcher's placard indicating the type of transmission and pump that you have. Just to the right, once again, we have your draft foam tank lever and also inlet. You'll also find a warning regarding foam failure. Do not mix different brands or consistencies of foam for the possibility of foam failure. We do have a pan door just to the right. Behind that is the foam lever. It's going to be for horizontal operations, is normal operation, and vertical will be for fill operations. This is your watcher's plaque indicating the type of pump you have and your minimum operation maintenance schedule for test pressures of 150, 200, and 250 psi. On the left-hand side, the associated GPM at test pressure, and on the right, the associated RPM at test pressure. Let's move just under the diamond-plated step area, where you'll find your foam pump discharge drain and foam pump intake drain. As we move slightly to the right, this is going to be a pull-out pump style panel step that you can step on and operate your pump panel. As we move downward from that location toward the rear, you'll find the foot pedal for the reel rewind. Just underneath the body, you'll find two folding wheel chocks in front of the rear axle. In the compartment at the top, you're going to find, when plugged into shore power, this outlet will be active, and it will also maintain your batteries through this auto charge system. As we move directly over the axle, you have two SCBA bottle storage locations or packs. In front of the axle, SCBA bottle storage locations for 2 bottles. As we move to the rear, a single bottle with retaining strap. Also, your ultra low sulfur diesel fuel. It's the silver cap. When you flip the flap downward, it exposes the 4.5 US gallon DEF tank, which is your blue cap. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rear axle, where you'll find, once again, Alcoa wheels and Michelin tires. Let's go ahead and move upward now to the rear compartment, where you'll find a tool board. D-handle gains access to the rear section of the tool board. A little difficult to see in this image, but there is a lock mechanism to the rear. You can go ahead and lift that to restore back to its original position. We're now to the rear of the apparatus. We have the space saver down. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the items. First, starting in the upper left-hand corner, we have long-handled tool storage. As we move downward, you'll find your rear scene light switch located in the cupped switch. As we move just to the right, we've got fold down steps and also some warning information regarding an entanglement hazard. Once again, those lines are coming from aloft. There is the possibility of entanglement. Also a fall hazard. When climbing on and off the vehicle, always face the vehicle. And at the very bottom, fall hazard, never ride on the vehicle while it is in motion. As we move down to the very bottom, you'll find a pull-out tray. The release mechanism for that tray is on the lower right-hand side. It will lock into position, requiring you to push the release to restore. As we move to the right-hand side, you're going to find your equipment rack. This is behind the pan door cutout. We have a close-up of that in the next set of images. There are instructions on this placard for raise and lower. Also, you have a remote so you can visually identify while lowering or raising, and also an indicator regarding the green light that power is on. Let's go ahead and move around to the passenger side of the vehicle. Identify a few items here. Once again, adjustable shelves and LED lighting. As we move to the forward section directly over the axle, we have 3 SCBA holders. As we move just in front of and rear of the axle, SCBA bottle storage location. This does have retaining straps in front and also to the rear. Let's go ahead and move downward from this location. In front of the rear axle is where you'll find your exhaust. Extremely hot diesel exhaust temperatures do exist, especially during region operations. Be careful where you park your vehicle. Let's go ahead and move forward of this location to the next compartment, where you'll find LED lighting, dry deck material, adjustable shelves, and then also a pull-out tray. Once again, the lock mechanism is on the lower right-hand side. As we move to the midsection of the pumper, let's go ahead and identify things within the pump panel area. First, starting, we've got some warning labels. Fall, make sure that you face the vehicle while climbing on or off. And also entanglement, because of those lines coming through the crosslay, there is the possibility of entanglement. Also, pressure hazard. Caps may be under pressure. Be cautious when opening them. There are 4 2.5-inch discharges located on this side. They are clearly color-coded and labeled. As we move just forward of this location, you'll find the pan door. This gains access behind the pump panel, which is where your intake relief valve setting is located. As we move downward on the pump panel, you'll find this switch, which is your passenger side scene light. This is for the light on the body top side. As we move further down, you'll find the Pierce logo, American flag eagle. This is your large diameter pump inlet. Right next to it, you'll find the large diameter passenger side discharge. As we move down, you'll find all the color-coded and labeled discharge drains. And as we move forward to this location, you'll find the 2.5-inch auxiliary inlet, which is a ball valve female coupling. Let's continue now looking inside the pan door area, where you'll find the reservoir for your hydraulic reservoir equipment rack. A couple close-ups of the items we just talked about. At the very bottom section, color-coded and labeled discharge drains, 2.5-inch auxiliary passenger side inlet. It is a ball valve female coupling. Let's go ahead and move forward to this location. You'll also find a pull-out step area for operation of the pump panel. As we move forward to this location, you'll find at the cab wall an additional compartment, same configuration as the driver's side. As we move inside, affixed to the door panel, all of our safety and warning information, door lock and latch, and window control, grab handle, overhead grab handles, also push on and off white or red lens lights, and also hangers for your headsets. Once again, to the rear wall, you'll find 2 forward-facing seats and also 12-volt access. As we move to the forward section into the officer space, this is the passenger area, affixed to the door panel, all of our safety and warning information, door lock and latch, window control, and grab handle. Your vehicle is equipped with a supplemental restraint system airbag. Please take note and don't mount anything within this area. Also, just to the left of the officer seat, you'll find your push button for your air horn. As we move to the very center section, you'll find your vehicle data recording port located just behind your computer mount. General view overhead in the cab area from the officer's perspective. Let's take a look at some of the items within this area. Let's first start with the dash area at the very forward section. You have a AM/FM, Bluetooth, Sirius XM, CD player. Just to the left, you'll find your unit radio. Moving further to the left, you'll find a set of switches, emergency master, scene master, front flood, driver scene, passenger scene, and rear scene. Once again, any of these lights are on. You can activate them individually or with the scene master. Just to the right, you'll find the go light, which will control the light over the top of the light bar. It is your spotlight. As we move directly behind the officer seat, you'll find your unit radio module. We're now exterior. On the front section of the cab area, underneath the step area, is where you'll find your perimeter lighting. Also in the front axle, you'll find a sight gauge located in the center, Alcoa wheels, Michelin tires. As we move to the front bumper extension, you'll find 2 side-facing emergency warning lights. On the A-pillar is where you'll find your shoreline inlet auto eject plug. And as we move directly above that, you'll find the side-facing camera. There is one on the passenger and also on the driver's side. Easily accessible with a gloved hand, these are your door locks, and they are keyed. As we move just to the side of the door, you'll find your grab handle, which will gain access in and out of the cab. Directly over the axle, you'll find a side-facing emergency warning light. As we move over the window area, you'll find a side-facing scene light and also an AM/FM antenna. As we move to the very rear section of the cab wall, you're going to find your LED water tank level indicator, and then just above that, you'll find an additional side-facing emergency warning light. Let's take a look at some close-ups of the items that we just talked about. First, starting on the A-pillar with your shoreline inlet. This is a 15 amp shoreline inlet. It also has a digital readout for the amperage. General view here of the side of the vehicle. We have a few more here with the compartment doors open. This happens to be the passenger side. We'll go ahead and move around now to the rear of the apparatus, and then we'll move around now to the driver's side of the vehicle. Once again, all compartments are in the open position. Congratulations, Mesa Fire Department, Arizona, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 35239. If you have any questions, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you and congratulations.